What was life like on the home front during World War II?
As I said before, the war started for us when I was 15. My brother joined the Air Force, was required to go to school for 2 years to take certain classes. He wanted to be a pilot, but because he was colorblind, he couldn't do that, and he became a navigator. He flew 25 missions over Japan, dropping uh, bombs, and after that, the pilots and their crew were retired. So, anyway, on the home front, we were afraid that we would be attacked by Japanese planes. So, we had to blacken all the windows, had to have curtains that you couldn't see lights out. We had rationing of gasoline. We could only buy maybe one pair of shoes in a year. I remember the girls couldn't get stockings, so they had to wear stockings that were torn. Not that that was all that important, but in my family, we wanted to be patriotic, and we had the opportunity, my mother and I, to go out to a golf course where they had set up a little situation where you climbed up and could see for miles around. And we were working to mark all the planes that came within our view or our hearing. We had to go to Riverside, California to check on how this all worked, where they had a huge wall of the whole world, and every country was on it, and they marked every airplane that came over the United States. So we had binoculars, and we'd be out there for, I think it was 4 or 5 hour shifts, and then we would have to listen for the planes and look for them. They didn't have supersonic airplanes, of course. And then we would call in to Riverside, and they would make a light on the wall where we had told them that the plane was and the direction it was heading. I felt very good to be able to do that. Had an armband and other kinds of things that they gave you to show you were official. So that's what the war was like. You must remember that I only knew the boys in my class, and they were still too young to go in the service. But I knew that the older boys that were like in seniors in high school, half of the class would drop out, and the boys would enlist in the army. So that was, hard to know somebody and have them go. And you also need to know that I didn't realize at the time that my husband was an 18-year-old, and he was determined to go in the service right away as soon as he got out of high school. I never knew that he served over in the European section. That would be your teacher's grandfather. He served in the European section, had to walk through Italy and fight through France and Germany and Austria and the little countries over there until the war was over. And he was walking on the road up to Berchtesgaden, where Hitler was hanging out, when the war was considered over and they saw all the German soldiers coming back with their arms raised. It was very difficult 3 years for him.